Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen that are here. We're going to go ahead and wing it tonight once again. Miss Sherry texted me yesterday and said that she felt really badly, but her voice was pretty much gone. There was a camping trip this weekend, and that combined with talking a lot and sitting around the campfire, she thinks did her voice in. So she will definitely be on next Monday, hopefully. I keep saying that. It's like the third week in a row. But she's also going to have her daughter-in-law, Kylie, and also her daughter, Nia, I believe is how you say her name. They're going to both be on with her. So that'll be a treat. So that'll be a little extra special thing. So I'm looking forward to that. So definitely tune in next Monday. And hopefully we'll get it going. We'll get her on here somehow. So it's just been already a crazy summer for her, crazy summer for me. So I'm glad you're all here. And we are just going to, like I said, wing it. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about tonight, go ahead and leave it in chat. I had a few different things that I figured we could talk about. We could talk about breastfeeding. We could, because I'm kind of in that season right now, maybe tips and hints. Yeah, that sounded funny. We could talk about, I know a lot of people want to do a music one, but I kind of need some time to prepare for that one. I kind of wanted to go into kind of the history of music and put a lot more effort into that one. So I didn't want to just wing it for that. So yeah, poor Miss Sherry. So she will be on next week. So that'll be exciting. So cleaning tips. Well, if you want cleaning tips, make sure you watch the one that I did with Mrs. Ronnie Starnes, and that is she has the Clean With Me podcast. She's probably better at talking about cleaning tips than I am. My method of cleaning is pretty much line the kids up and give them chores. No, I'm kind of kidding, kind of. My method of cleaning is pretty much a deep clean once a week, and then pretty much every day just making sure all the clutter's picked up, things like that. I am part of a group called Motivated Moms, and they're working on getting an app, and I really liked that app when I kept up with it because it has a list of chores for every day that you're supposed to accomplish. So I'm actually part of a Facebook group, Motivated Moms, but it's like a closed Facebook group, I think. You can search for it. It might be there, but you like my scrunchy hair. This is, little known fact, I have natural curly hair. That's where Lana has curly hair. And this is just air dried today. It was really humid out and I didn't feel like blow drying it. So I just let it air dry. So I just put some mousse and stuff on it. So anyways, also I have some ideas. I guess when my husband was at the camp, he was talking to the Jimenez's, and they were saying that I should look into teaching online piano lessons. So we were talking about that today, and I was just going to throw this idea out to you ladies. I thought I'd ask your opinion on it. And I was thinking I need to like sit with Karen Rodriguez and like just do some brainstorming with her, because she is one that really knows how to start up, online things. But I wanted to talk to her maybe just about, I know she had mentioned before setting up a Patreon account, and I didn't know what you guys would prefer. Would you be interested in doing piano lessons with the intention of teaching him playing eventually? Because him playing is something that is not taught very often. And even if you go to a classical pianist in an art studio, that's so completely different. The hymn playing is so completely different style than just classical music. I was taught note reading, and I was taught classical. I was trained in the classical style of playing, which is very, very good for learning notes and learning timing and learning rhythm, things like that. But then when I started playing the piano, when I took over for the pianist in our church, they ended up she was the pastor's wife, and they ended up going to be missionaries. And so I started taking over the piano. I had to teach myself how to play hymns because it's so different. If you don't know with hymns, they have just 4 notes. They have the bass, the tenor, the alto, and the soprano notes written. That's it. So that's really boring. If you're just playing the straight 4 notes, the rhythm, just the 4 notes, it's very boring. So part of being a good church pianist is, well, number one, following the song leader. A lot of church pianists don't do that. So that's an art in and of itself. But number 2, it's improvising, and it's the fill-ins. It's not just the 4 basic notes. It's, filling in with runs and chords and octaves and, all things like that. And the Improviser book series by Shelley Hamilton really, really helped me a lot. And I learned a lot from there. And, but it is something that you kind of need to teach kids when they're playing. So I haven't even been looking at the comments as I've been talking, but I didn't know how I would set that up. I didn't know if I could figure out some way to do Google Hangout lessons. So then there would be actual time slots. I would set, aside a day where I could teach through like a Google Hangouts, like I'm doing now. Or I didn't know, my husband said maybe I could do just pre-recorded lessons, but I don't like that as much. I really enjoy teaching one-on-one. I really like sitting with the student, watching them play, watching their hands, hearing them play the timing and the rhythm. And so if there was some way that I could, do a Google Hangouts piano lesson, I don't know, just throw your ideas out there. Leave the comments, see if that's something you'd be interested in. And the nice thing is, it would be lessons taught by another Christian woman with the intention of using your music training to play in church eventually. So I know that's not taught a lot. So let me go up here. Playing the hymns takes a lot of practice. It does. Pastor Anderson's piano course is good. There's a lot of tips and things that you could use, but if you are a total beginner, never taking music, there might be some questions as you go, through the books, and that's something that I could help with too. Maybe you just want to brush up on, different things, and there could be different levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. And then I would probably just link to the books that I would want you to buy if you're just starting out, and then I could take you through those. There's a few different curriculums. If you look at my Cassie Ray McMurtry channel, I have a little section on there about the books that I use. When I taught at the academy, there was a certain curriculum that I liked to use. So let me go up here and look at these. Let me look at these comments. Okay, so I am just going to start going down. I'd like that I take Skype lessons currently. So there are people that do it. Yeah, there are definitely people that do it. That is something I need to really figure out and just come up with, a plan, because I think there might be interest in that. But Joanne said they're very interested in that. But let's go up to this first question. So there's that. So just leave your comments and tell me what you think about that. Angeli Burrows said, what do you think the boundary is for women teaching men? For instance, do I, as a single woman, have authority to rebuke a heretic or answer doctrinal questions from brothers in Christ? Absolutely. You're not in a church setting. I believe the boundary is where are you as far as the setting goes. It says, but if you look at the context of when he is telling women to remain silent, it's always in a church setting. You don't want to usurp the authority of that. Now, if you're like, you have to be careful with this though, because you don't want to be known as like this know-it-all brawling woman who inserts herself in every conversation with men and is like, well, I think this way. But it's fine to have an opinion. Sometimes there's a group of all the guys love talking doctrine in our church, and I'll throw out my opinion when we're just in a, not in the service, obviously, but if they're just after or before church, just standing around talking, I'll just throw out an opinion or a thought or something. Social media, I have definitely gone back and forth before with men on social media. I would just say not in a church setting, definitely. And, if you're married, you said you're single, but if you are married and your husband just doesn't like you doing it, then just don't do it. It's just my husband doesn't mind that I have opinions. So he doesn't mind when I throw my thoughts out there. He doesn't mind when I disagree with men on social media. It's not a problem with him. So he's fine with it. So I would definitely say it's okay if he is fine with it. If he would rather have you just not get involved in discussions like that, then don't. So, but as far as single, then, yeah, I definitely feel like, especially a heretic, then yeah, I would definitely. And if they're asking for opinion, go for it. And Jen said, what about home decor? Like, what should and shouldn't be a part of decor? Someone had asked about graven images, etc., on one of the Facebook groups. I am not as hardcore in this as some people are. I know some people even they will not have anything. What is it, made out of stone? I don't think they'll have anything made out of stone. I have precious moments in my house. I don't like pictures of Jesus because, number one, most of the pictures of Jesus, they are very effeminate, and a lot of them were done back in the time era of the gay painters and things like that. So yeah, I don't like pictures of Jesus. I don't feel like we should try to even, I think he's a lot more masculine than most pictures portray him as. But like I said, I do have figurines. And this just comes down to, once again, what God has convicted you about and what he's laid on your heart. I do feel like some people can go too extreme. I've known of people that have forbidden like even fall decorations or like pumpkins on their doorstep around the fall because people might think they're celebrating Halloween or something. I think you can definitely take it too far. They don't allow dolls or, they don't even let their kids play with dolls because it could be a graven image. I know the Amish are like that. They don't allow any faces on dolls. So I think you can take it too far. Once again, it's all about balance. And if you come from a background, I don't know, maybe you were a Wiccan or something and they worshiped inanimate objects like that, then maybe you're going to have a stronger stance in this after you become a Christian than like I would, where I've never bowed down and worshiped, objects and things. Back in the Bible times, there really were people that were worshiping objects like that. So I think that's, where that comes in. So that's something you and your husband are going to have to decide for your home. I definitely think you need a good balance. I think some people can be too hardcore on this. So anyways, Ashley asked, should parents make their kids have a daily quiet time personal devotions? I think it's a good idea. There's a difference between, and I'm really bad about this. I always am like, okay, we're going to be on a schedule. We're going to do this every single day, and during the school year, I'm a lot better about this. A lot of times we'll do our Bible reading, just like a chapter of Proverbs before each school day. So at least we're getting it in 5 times a week. But during the summer, I am so bad about this because there's no schedule. It kind of drives me nuts. There's no schedule at all. So a lot of times I forget, but it is definitely a very good idea to get your children. I would highly encourage it. There's a difference between that and then forcing them to do it for a punishment. If you're forcing your child every time he disobeys or sins and you're forcing him to read the Bible as a punishment, that's going to make him grow to hate Bible reading. And in his mind, he's going to associate Bible reading with a form of punishment, and it's just going to have bad connotations. So I would definitely encourage not doing that for a punishment. Rather, just show them that it's fun reading the Bible and you can learn so much, and we're supposed to study the Bible and it's fun to learn, and we're always learning new things. In fact, my husband and I were talking about it today. We both learned something this weekend. We were he listened live, and then I listened today to Pastor Jimenez's sermon which is a very good sermon actually for any church member to listen to. The Best of the Worst is what it's called. And he was talking about how Joab was not one of the mighty men. And I always thought he was. And my husband's like, I always thought he was too. And then, but when you read it, he wasn't. His name was listed like in the context of the whatever they were talking about, but he was not listed as one of the mighty men. So that was something I just learned from listening to a sermon and then going back and looking at it. So we're always learning. I mean, I've been saved 34 years or something like that. And that was something new I learned. So I would definitely encourage it, though. I think that's good to have have a set time. When I remember, I'm not perfect with this. I'm not going to pretend like we never miss Bible reading and I have it all together when it comes like that, because a lot of times we don't. So, all right, let me look at some of these. I'm not keeping up with chat at all. Okay, let me see. Okay, people are saying they're interested in it. That's really, really good. Someone said how to manage personal time for yourself when homeschooling. How about when you figure that out, you tell me. Just kidding, kind of. Personal time for yourself when homeschooling is hard. Some days you feel like you're completely pulled in every direction. I have it easier now that my kids are older, because just like today, we left the kids at home. I hadn't seen my husband for like 5 days or something. So we left the kids at home and we drove and went out to Chinese, just me and my husband. So that's like my personal time to recharge, just being able to talk to him without being interrupted 50 million times, having nice conversation, adult conversation with him. When I was younger, I felt like I didn't get any time to myself. And in fact, sometimes my husband would like get home. I'd be like, okay, here's the kids, bye. And I would just like run out the house because I needed just a little bit of time. So I would drive to town, maybe go to the library, just walk around the mall, get myself a coffee. And he knew when I would need a break, so he would help out. So if your husband can do that for you, that would be nice. I sad to say, a lot of times I stay up late. I love to read. I'm a reader. And so my only time to read is either late at night or early in the morning. I am not an early morning person. Anyone that knows me knows that. I need my sleep, and I need to sleep till at least 7. Otherwise, I'm just feel dead. So I'd rather stay up late and do it. So yes, to piano. I would love for my daughter to learn to play the piano, but I have no idea how or what books would help. Yeah. Shannon said she's interested. Live would be awesome. I definitely agree. I think it would be way more helpful than pre-recorded. It would probably take more time out of my schedule. But if I just did it like 1 day a week, because back when I taught, I was doing it like 1 night a week, then I went to 2 nights a week. But if I could even do it during the day, that would be great too. So let's see. Jen said I'll be a bit beta. Avery said I play for church currently. I have a similar experience having learned classical and then figuring out some improv techniques. I still have a ways to go. Daniel said he plays, yes. The Majesty music books are really awesome. The Hymproviser series especially, it really shows a lot about progressions and chord modulations, so that's really, really good. Amber said, how was your day? It was good. It was kind of, I didn't get much done today because I kind of slept in and then went out on a date. So yeah, I didn't really get much done today. And then Amanda said, off topic, do a hair tutorial for your hairstyle right now. Okay, so if you have curly hair, this is what you need to do. This is a well-known, not well-known thing. You do something called plunking with your hair, okay? And that's where when I get out of the shower, I brush it, and then I take spray gel, and I spray it all with spray gel. I put some mousse in it. I use gel on mousse. And then you lay, oh, this is like really hard to show without anything. You lay your a t-shirt down, and you tip your head over, and you put all your hair in it, and then you like put the back of the t-shirt over your head. I almost need to do a whole separate video on this. And then you just kind of tie it up so that your hair is just kind of scrunched up against your head. And you leave it like that for a while you're doing your makeup or running around the house or whatever. And then after you take it out, I put a little bit more gel and mousse on it and then just kind of let it air dry, and then I put some out. So that's what I do. But gel and mousse you have to have, otherwise mine would be a rat's nest really, really badly. So let's see. Someone said I don't like crosses. I lost it. I just don't allow like crosses or so-called pictures of Jesus. I like crosses without the image of Jesus on it. I do love crosses. I feel like I don't know. I don't think you're worshiping the cross. I like crosses because it reminds me of what Jesus did for me. So I am fine with crosses, like as a necklace or something. I don't really have any crosses around my house, I don't think. But I mean, even in our sanctuary, like right above the pulpit, high up is a cross, a wooden cross. And I think it's pretty. And in our pulpit is a cross too. I don't think there's anything wrong with having crosses per se. But Jessica said, have you tried the diffuser? I have tried I do diffuse it mine too, and it's a lot curlier than this. So, and then Stephen Boffman said, scripture is always a good decoration in the home. Yes, it is. I love scripture all over the house. Stacy McComas asked, are there any decent Bible study material, or should I just read the Bible and focus on my reading? I should write a Bible study book. All right. There's, I have found a few that I like. My favorite thing is just buying. I have the 1-year Bible, the King James Version 1-year Bible, and I just follow the scripture readings that they have throughout there. I'm trying to think of this Bible study devotions I've done in the past. I think a lot of them, the problem is that they're not in King James. They're in other versions. So there was one by Paul Chappell that was actually not horrible. I definitely don't recommend most of his stuff nowadays, though. This was a few years ago that I had gotten. It was like 365 devotions or something for the whole year that you would do along with your Bible reading. Oh, and another one is, Stacy, I don't know if you homeschool, but there is a Homeschool Mom's Bible, King James Version, and they have all the, they have the reading sectioned off throughout the Bible where you can read through it in a year, and they have devotions to go along with it. I do like that one. That one's pretty good. Obviously, there's going to be stuff in there that you don't agree with, but it's just kind of encouraging for homeschool moms. And that is a good one actually to have. That's probably about the only one I would recommend at this time. So, let me see. Okay. I'm getting way behind. I'm way behind in the chat. Let me catch up. Yeah, I'm on the 1-year Bible app. Yes, 15 minutes a day. It's not very much. And I like it because in the 1-year Bible that I have, they have Old Testament, New Testament, Proverbs, and a Psalm. So that's kind of nice. They're talking about hair. So Dorothy asked, do you have any advice for adult children with saved parents who are into sins that would get them kicked out of church? Do you have any advice for adult children? Have any advice for adult children with saved parents? So okay, I don't really understand the question. Are the adult children the ones in the sins, or are the saved parents the ones that are into sins that would kick them out of church, get them kicked out of church? I don't know if it's the adult children or the saved parents that are into it. Let's see if you answer that. Do I make, oh, the parents are into sins. Well, I'm trying to think of it, how I would come across. What would I do if my parents were into sins that would get them kicked out of church? Well, starters, if it was something like drunkenness, things along those nature, I would make sure I was not around when they were doing it. I would let them know that I did not agree, in a respectful way. I would try to maybe sit down and talk with them and let them know, I cannot condone the way that you're living. Along those natures, there's stuff that, my husband disagrees with his parents. I disagree with mine, but there's some things that it's really none of my business. I am my own house now with my husband, and they are their own house, and they make decisions that I am not going to agree with. I make decisions I know they don't agree with all the time, but I can definitely give them my opinion. I can definitely talk to them in a sincere, nice way. But when it comes down to it, they are still living their life. And if they are doing something that I do not approve of, I will not be there while they're doing it. Obviously, personally, for me, I don't like to be around anyone that's drinking. I don't like alcohol at all. I don't even like going into restaurants that say beer bar on them. Like if it says like Applebee's bar and grill, I don't even like going into those. It makes me very, very uncomfortable. So I try to stay away from it as much as I can. So I definitely would, there just comes a time where, your family is going to know where you stand on things. And sometimes it's just better to let them know how you stand and then leave it at that, and you don't need to constantly harp on it, constantly nag them about it. So, and then I would just not be around when they're doing those sins. So, let's see. Good family movies, TV shows that you recommend. I always have a few. I really like my girls are into I Love Lucy right now. They love I Love Lucy, Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith. I like anything. PureFlix has, I have not gotten PureFlix, but I keep seeing ads for it. They have a lot of the movies that I grew up watching that I love, like Rigoletto, Buttercream Gang, basically any of those feature films for families. Those are going to be good ones. And then you've got the movies like Fireproof and Courageous. And Courageous, the first time I watched it, actually made me cry. That was really sad. And I don't cry very often. Facing the Giants, movies like that. And then you have the musicals. I love musicals. My husband and I, we love musicals. So like Sound of Music, Fiddler on the Roof. And most of those, I think Sound of Music and Fiddler on the Roof are completely clean. I don't think there's anything in those. Anne of Green Gables, that is one of my absolute favorites. Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea, just because I have a lot in common with Anne. So I am Anne's, we are like Twinkies. So Little House on the Prairie, if you want a lot of drama and emotion. Someone's always dying, or the crops are always failing, or Pa Ingle's just about to get ahead, and then the hail comes or the tornado comes. My husband can't stand that show. So, let's see. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. Someone had asked something. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, I'm getting really behind again. Let's see. Oh, Amanda said what I said right now. I didn't mean the tutorial right now. Yeah, that's hilarious. Sorry. Gabby said, I'm getting married next month. Advice on fun wedding songs that aren't raunchy or dirty, but still make you want to dance. I feel like I will be judged if I play some songs that some might consider sinful. I'm at a loss with that one because I don't really know like worldly songs that much. Are you thinking more like the worldly type that just are like clean? Or pretty much what we had at our wedding was we had classical, and then we had just a few songs out of a Wilds book. Kathy Coral has some pretty songs. I don't really know of any songs that make you want to dance that would be in my genre of music that I listen to. I don't really listen to songs that make you want to dance. So I'm probably not the one to ask about that. I'm sorry. And I don't know a lot of the worldly songs that are even clean. I just don't listen to them. So, I don't know. Sorry about that. Angelique said, do you make notes and stuff when you read the Bible? Yes, I love to make notes. And my husband makes fun of me because I mark up my Bible. I underline stuff. I write little notes. And I like to do it because I have a Bible. It's a good old Schofield Bible, but I'm not getting rid of it because it was my dad's. And when my dad was diagnosed, I could really see into his heart because of the things he underlined and some of the things he wrote in his Bible. And that's why my husband makes fun of me, because he's like, you can tell like what people struggle with if they are ones that go through their Bible and underline, because if you notice it, you will underline the verses that really speak to your heart and really convict you. And so if you go through my Bible, you could probably see what I'm struggling with just by what I've underlined or what encourages me. But I told him, I said, that's fine, because I want my kids to be able to go through my Bibles and see everything I've written one day. I love the Bible that my dad left me. So, and I love seeing his little notes written through it. So I think it's great just for future generations to see your little notes and your little thoughts and things like that. So Jessica said, I used to keep a notebook of notes and reading. Ashley said, what are your thoughts on Disney? Disney's pretty evil most of the time. I'm not going to say that my kids have never seen a Disney movie. I knew someone that had said that told me that her kids had never seen a Disney movie. If you have that conviction, that's great. My kids have seen Disney movies, and you know, there are some good, clean, older Disney movies like Mary Poppins, Old Yeller. Back in that time era, they were great. Even the new Mary Poppins was fine. I do not like it how they're trying to slip the gay agenda into everything that they do, which every company is now. I definitely think they have an agenda. The Disney Channel is completely different from the Disney movies, though. The Disney Channel is complete rubbish. It was actually a couple years ago. We were at a hotel on vacation, and my husband was flipping through the channels, and he stumbled upon the Disney Channel, and he was mortified. And he's like, "Our children are never watching this." It was just the most dumbed down, stupid. Just the boys were so effeminate on it. I mean, they were wearing more pink and purple than the girls were, and it was horrible. So he was like, "They are never, ever, ever watching the Disney show." So, you know, that's definitely, they definitely have an agenda that they are pushing. And do I think that there are some good movies that they produce? Yes, absolutely. But once again, you need to decide where you're going to draw that line. When it comes to Disney, you need to realize that they do have an agenda and they are pushing things. So pretty much every company is now, but I feel like Disney has always been a little bit ahead in that area as far as pushing the agenda. So Kimmy said the Anne with an E on Netflix is bad, though. Stay away from that one. I heard my best friend actually started watching that because we're both like super crazy Anne of Green Gables fans. She is Diana in our relationship, and I am Anne, so we just love it because it just fits both of us so well. And she's like, "Cass, that was horrible." And she didn't even get to the part where they introduced the lesbian character or something. And then when I told her, I'd seen, Kimmy, that you had said something about that, and I told her that that was on it later, she's like, "What? I cannot believe they're even trying to mess up Anne of Green Gables." And they do. They try that with everything. So, oh, the Christie series. I forgot about that. I grew up watching the Christie series. We would, like, every week we would be like, this was back in the time era of like Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. My mom loved Dr. Quinn. So I watched Dr. Quinn growing up. I probably wouldn't anymore. She kind of bugs me. And she was feministy for even that. But we'd always watch Christie series too. So let's see. Mary Poppins. Yep, Kimmy. In the near future, could you do a segment on coming out of the old IFB and transitioning to the new? My husband and I have lost friends over biblical changes we have made. Yeah, this has really been weighing in my mind and heart lately, actually, because, yeah, we lost a lot of friends too. But I have to keep on telling myself, we lost a lot of friends, but we gained a lot of friends too. And you just need to remember that we lost friends, but we gained friends. And I really did find out who my true friends were, because most of these things that we changed on, they are not big issue things to change on. You know, rapture and end times and Jews, they should not be deal breakers at all. But for a lot of people, they were. And they really were. And we have some friends that we've had for years and years and years and years, and they are still our friends, even after, you know, after changing on these things. And that meant a lot to me. And if they watch, they know who they are. But yeah, that meant a lot to me, just knowing. I don't know. The last couple months it's been on my heart a lot because of just severed friendships and things that never really just like ended. Like I was close to someone, and then all of a sudden they stopped texting, and then a whole year went by, and I tried texting them and no response, nothing. And that really bothered me just because I feel like I need closure. Because lost friendships do bother me, because I try to put a lot into my friendships, and it hurts me when it's not, you know, done back, I guess. So that would be a good topic. I don't know. It would be a good topic, but I feel like it would be me like just just opening my heart and bearing my soul in it. And we still have many old IFB friends, and I still love the old IFB. I grew up old IFB. I bleed old IFB. So, and I think that there's a lot of good things. They have a lot of good things still going, and they did a lot of things right, but they did some things wrong too. So I don't know, maybe I could talk about the right and wrong areas of it. I don't know. We'll see. I keep losing. There's so much chat. I'm sorry if I missed your question. Gabby said, I meant songs that aren't Christian, but do not have swearing, sexual lyrics. Thank you for reading my question anyways. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm sorry. There might be some 50s music. Yeah, you're right. How about songs from musicals? Sound of Music musicals or Fiddler on the Roof. There's some cute songs in there. I love musicals. Even The Minister lies about a criminal because he thinks his heart has been changed. I don't get that. Oh, about Little House on the Prairie. I'm like, what are you talking about? Little House on the Prairie isn't as great as I used to think. They teach lying to make people feel good is a good thing. It's shocking how many times that happens in the series. Oh, the minister on Little House on the Prairie drives me nuts because he's so soft. They just make him out to be just this like soft. And I'm sorry, the preachers I know and the preachers in my life are not soft men. They're very hard men that take a hardline stance and endure a lot of criticism. So yeah, Reverend Alden, he fails as a minister big time. Let's see. Okay. Where the Red Fern Grows is another good movie. I've never seen that. Disney Channel is garbage. Yes, it is. How is Mary Poppins good when it's magical? If you are to the, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is Mary Poppins magical, or is it more having to do with using your imagination? If you just have drawn the stance that you don't want any magic at all, then don't watch it. So that's all I'm going to say. But if you are fine with a little make-believe, then go ahead and watch it. Mrs. P said they've lost friends too. It's hard and a little disheartening, but we just have to keep moving forward. And I try to make new friends. My husband, kids, and I struggle a lot with the loss of friends. It is hard when you lose friendships, but like I said, just remember all the friendships you're going to make. So just try to keep that in mind. That's what I try to think of. Dorothy said Cartoon Network and Nick push the homo agenda even more. I'm sure they do. Well, we don't have any of those. We've never had cable. And yes, Heath, you are correct. Losing friends and making new ones is all part of the purification process. You find out who your real friends are. You do. And I guess that's why I was so disappointed, because the ones that I really thought I was really close to and we had a good foundation, we were really solid. Those are some of the ones that turned out not to be. They just, and I know some of it's because of my husband's preaching and because they are loyal to their pastors, and he has preached against some of the stuff that these pastors are doing. And I know it's because of loyalty to their pastors. So I can't fault them all the time for that, but it still does. It does hurt though. So, as also any help with an older sibling picking on the younger. My children are not perfect in this area. I hate it when they fight, and I hate it when they get picked on. I would say if you have an older sibling that is really, really picking on one of their younger ones, maybe you can make them that child's tag along buddy for a while until they learn to get along. I've done that before. Okay, you're with her the whole day. You get to sit by her when we eat. You get to stay with her in the same room. You get to be right by her side the entire day. I've done that before. And just taking away privileges if they won't stop fighting. They won't stop picking on them. You got to teach your kids to have a compassionate heart, to be kind, not to have a mean streak. A lot of kids have mean streaks, and it's something you got to instill. It's a heart issue. You don't want your kids to have mean streaks. And a lot of times that comes out in how they interact with their siblings. So let's see. Okay, I'm trying to read the chat. Sorry. I keep losing it. Okay. Do your teenagers go to church camp in the summer? Where'd it go? Do your teenagers go to church camp in the summer like the old IFB churches? We have gone to church camp in the summer. Yes, a lot. Not this summer. I am very leery of church camp because I have heard so many horror stories of horrible, disgusting, perverted things happening at church camp. So the way that the church camp worked that we went to, they did not have staff that were counselors. What they did is they had, each church had their own counselors they sent. So anytime that my girls went to camp, I was with them. So I was with them 24 hours a day while we were there. I slept right by them in the bunks and the girls' dorms. All the girls were together in one big room, and I slept right by my girls. I was with them at all the activities 24/7. Same with my boys. My husband was there, or my older son was actually, he helped out one year. But that's the only type of church camp my children have been to. I would not send them somewhere unless they were with someone I trusted with my children, and that's like a handful of people, maybe 4 or 5 people that I would trust my kids with. And I've heard so many horror stories. They have been to, my boys have gone to football camp in the past, and my husband was there the whole time though as well. So most of the time when they've gone to camp, I've been there with them. My kids do classes at the academy. That is a place that most of the time though, when they're at those camps, they're like an hour a day, and you're right there in the waiting room waiting for them. And there's, security cameras everywhere and things. So that's something that I trust. But my teenagers do not go to regular church camp like old IFB churches do. Anytime they've been to camps, we've been with them. Even when Abby went to volleyball camp, I was there with her the whole time. So let's see. Gloria had me play musical songs for her wedding, Road to Avonlea and Darcy's Letter. Yes, I have played both of those for weddings. I have played Darcy's Letter and Road to Avonlea. And Gus Pike's theme from Avonlea, that's another really pretty song. So yeah, I played those for weddings. Let's see. You should totally watch Where the Red Fern Grows. Is coffee okay with pregnancy? I always drank it. I always, why are you asking this, Shara? Now you have me curious. Yes, coffee is okay with pregnancy. Some people say no. Like if you go to the Weston Price Foundation, I believe, he says absolutely not. Don't even drink 1 cup. But I always drank 1 cup a day when I was pregnant, and I've never had any issues with my children. In fact, my children, I've heard it said that it can affect birth weight, like make it on the lower spectrum, but my children have always been very big for their gestational age. So let's see. I used to drink, how do you say matcha? I know, is it matcha or is it matcha? My daughter and I were discussing this the other day. All the time. Yes, Amber, Cedar River. That was it. Okay. Oh, I'm missing some. I'm missing so many. I'm so sorry if I miss you. Oh, man, there's a lot. I always feel like I'm not going to have enough to talk about on these, but you guys just throw so many questions at me. I guess I got to make shorter answers. How would you recommend a wife help her husband who is struggling with backsliding? Number 1, don't nag. Number 2, pray. And number 3, just encourage him. When you see him making little steps in the right direction, really encourage him and be his cheerleader. If he wants you to sin, obviously openly sin against what God commands, don't do it. That is where you can draw the line. But just be his encourager. Don't be a nag. and definitely pray for him. I would say encouragement is probably the biggest thing. You know, let him know that you love the things of the Lord, and you love it when you see him doing right, and you love it when he's on fire. You love it when he is reading his Bible and things. And, you know, just really, really encourage him is one of the biggest things. Men respond a lot better to encouragement than nagging. They hate nagging. So how do you answer Baptists who believe that women should head cover? I ran into this for the first time and I didn't know how to respond. I point them to the verse that says a woman's hair is given to her for a covering. And that's really what I do. Most of the women that I have met that have head covered are very pompous. They over spiritualize everything. And it's so funny because they obviously missed the verse that says a woman's hair is given to her for a covering. So that's really, there's not much more that they can say about that. So matcha green tea. Okay, who do your kids play with? There aren't that many kids in our church. Same here. There really aren't. They play with each other. We have just a couple families with kids, and when they're here, they all play together. They go to the park. We're lucky to be by 2 parks. They go to the park. We have family members. Their cousins. Their cousins are Christian. On my husband's side, there's a few cousins that they play with on that side. When we go to, you know, some of these conferences and things, like Allie was just at the Sure Foundation's camping trip. My children are not shy, as you found out. And they love to make friends. And I think one of the reasons that they are so friendly is because we have never really had an abundance of children at our church since we started. There's just a few families with children. We have a lot of younger couples coming in. We have some single guys and we have older people. So there's not like a lot of families our size with kids our age. So they like to make friends everywhere that they go, and they play with people at the, you know, friends at the conferences. It doesn't take them long to find someone to hang out with. So, but yeah, we don't have that many kids. We don't have that many kids either, and I'm really far behind. I'm going to go all the way to the end and just kind of go up. Let me see. Okay. Advice for low self-esteem due to inappropriate relationships that the spouse has with others. I'm sorry. That's tough. That's really, really tough. First of all, you need to realize that your worth does not lie in even, you know, how your relationship is with your husband. Your worth lies in your self-worth lies in the fact that Jesus loves you and Jesus cares for you and Jesus died for you and he created you. And I would definitely just read the Bible and pour your heart out to God. I would try not to become bitter. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Definitely pray. Find a friend that you can share this stuff with. And, you know, just pray that God will mend your relationship so that someday it will be strong again. And, you know, just not becoming bitter is going to be one of the hardest things. Try to have joy even in the midst of the struggles. And I know that's hard. And I don't really have like a really good answer just being put on the spot. I would definitely have to think about that because that is a tough one. But just remember that you are loved by God and you are loved and you were created for a purpose and that you do have a purpose in life. And it's not only wrapped up in, you know, how your husband feels about you or how he sees you. You know, you are a daughter of the King. So just try to remember that and try to remember that even though you are hurting, God is there for you to heal the brokenhearted. And he sees your pain and he sees your suffering. So try to just remember that. So let's see. My older kids are at camp. I have talks with them before they go, and I only send them if I like the supervising adults. Yep. And that's going to be something, Ronnie said that's going to be something that you're going to have to decide as a family. I have a very small short list of people that I trust just because I am in the ministry and I have heard so many crazy stories. And a lot of the horrible things that happen is at camp. I'm not going to try to scare you, Ronnie. But a lot of the things that happens is at camp. And so you have to be really, really careful. The buddy system is great when you're at camp, never being alone, making sure they're always with someone, things like that. But I'm really, really careful with camp. So do your teens go to youth conferences? Yes, they do. If we have any youth conferences to go to, really the only one we have around us right now is Gomez's. So yes, and most of the time too, we have been to many youth conferences in the past. And once again, my husband was a youth pastor, so we were with them the whole time. So, and it was in that instance too, it was another one of those things where we were the ones with the kids. It wasn't other adults. So for me, a lot of the reasons my children did all this is because I was right there with them. And if you are in a church and you know, you are fine with your kids doing the activities that the church has, maybe they're in the youth group, but you are leery of letting them go with themselves, ask if you can go with. I know we didn't mind when parents came. So if you if you want to go along and chaperone, ask if you can go along and chaperone, and then you can be with your child the whole time. So, you know, it'll help them be around, you know, friends right where you are overseeing everything. So I need advice on teen matcha and matcha. Okay, that was not what I thought, but I need advice on teen girls. We've only been saved for a few years, so of course they have attitude and worldly habits. I know this is Satan attacking me. Help. Well, good. I'm glad you asked. Tune in next week, and we will go over that, Vanessa. I'm having Miss Sherry on with Nia and Kylie. So we will go over that. Kylie and Nia were both raised in a Christian home, and they are now married, and they will be talking along with their mother about everything related to teens, and we will go into teen girls definitely since they will be here. So tune in next week. That's my little commercial for next week. Mrs. P asked us on Facebook, but didn't get much response. Any book suggestions for middle school boys? We read many Jules Verne stories, Hardy Boys, and read Badge of Courage. We need some suggestions. G.H. Henty is great for middle school boys. He has so many books, old books, but I liked them growing up. My mom had all the G.H. Henty books, and I loved them. I thought they were very exciting. I always liked the Hardy Boys, too, over Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew was just too boring. I liked the Hardy Boys. I liked Buttercream Gang. No, what is it? Butter Creek Gang? Is that what it's called? Butter Creek Gang. Oh, I loved those books. Those were really, really good for boys. I still remember a story in one about a boy getting bitten by, or an alcohol. It was like this guy, he drank too much or something. And I can't remember if he was one of their dads, but he ended up getting bitten by a black widow spider and dying. And that always stuck in my head. So it terrified me of black widow spiders. Was it Butter Creek Gang? I think I'm getting that mixed up with the movie, The Buttercream Gang. So I'll have to remember that. Okay. Sugar Creek Gang. That's it. Yes. I loved the Sugar Creek Gang. They were so good. Look into those. Those are really exciting. Let's see. Okay. I'm missing so many. Okay. So yes, look into Sugar Creek Gang, G.H. Henty. You said Hardy Boys, I think. Did you say Hardy Boys? Yeah. So look into those other two things. I would appreciate it if you do decide to speak on it. My husband and I have 3 daughters, ages 18, 16, 14, and everything said and done, they were questioning the said friends. I will definitely keep that in my brain to talk about Rita. So, yes, and Jen said, Jujana, Mrs. Anderson is having a book list curriculum coming out. And we did the China one. It was very interesting. Not as well as we should have because it's summer. And like I said, I'm horrible with schedules in the summer. But I think it's really going to be really good for people that are on a budget and can't afford to spend a lot on school supplies. I think her book is going to be really, really, really awesome. So let's see. I take my kids to library story time. They have made a few really good friends through that. That's nice. As long as it's not drag queen story hour, right? Which I know you wouldn't do that. So playground, yeah. My girls will play a bit with the kids at the park, but I keep an eye out for bullies and such. My daughter, they ended up getting laid over in Oregon Saturday night, and they went swimming. And even after she had been like the whole week and making friends at the Sure Foundation camp, she made a friend with the girl in the pool. So she can make a friend anywhere, and that's fine. Most kids are good. They're not gonna corrupt them, especially if you're right there. So matcha. Do you think the NIFB would do a big family conference camp out? We don't have many kids at our church and would love for my kids to meet NIFB families. I know different churches have done them. I don't know if we could ever do like a large one. That would just be really hard to just like keep the weirdos out. Because there are, every movement, every group is going to attract the weirdos. And that would be hard to have a big camp out where, you kept the weirdos out. So I don't know. I know different churches do them. Like Sure Foundation just had one. The Andersons used to. Faithful Word did, but I think they're too big now. I think it's gotten too difficult for them. So, but that is a good idea. Jen, do you go to an NIFB church? That's what I'm wondering. So I'm really behind in chat. Sugar Fit Gang. Do you have any tips for preparing body to conceive first child? I've been married for a year and don't get my period regular. Do you have advice on how to regulate my body or prepare? Yes. Take conception. I have a link in the description for it. The conception fertility pills. It has, what's the name of what's in it? I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember. It has an herb in it that helps regulate women. And it's really good. You can take that all the way. I've heard of women that started taking it that their cycles were all over the place, and it regulated them in just a couple cycles to where it was like 30 days or 28 days exactly apart. And it also lessened PMS. It lessened the cramps. So that is called fertility. No, what is it? Conception pills, and they're off Amazon. So that is one of the only, and whatever herb is in that, I mean, it's like totally escaping me right now, but whatever herb is in it, that herb is good. I know there are some, I would research different herbs to help. I kept something in my eye. I would research different herbs to help. Maybe get a book about herbs and see what kind of herbs could help that, because there are some herbs that specifically help that. Yeah, conception pills. That's really good. Boxcar Children. Yes, Boxcar Children. I loved Boxcar Children. Read those. And then Apple Dumpling Gang. Yes, that was another really, really cute one. That's a really cute movie. Some of the older Disney movies are really cute. And they're totally clean and everything. Utah does not have any NIFB. Utah's a pretty place. Yeah, that is hard. I would definitely try to, if there is a conference that comes up, like some of these 2 or 3 day conferences, I would save, instead of going on vacation to other places like Disney World or something, I would save your money and go there. And then your children can be around like-minded children. They can interact with them and play with them and things. So Vanessa said, please be mindful at parks. I have a friend whose child was lured by another child to go to a waiting vehicle with a woman who tried to get him to get in. That's crazy. Yes, please always watch your children. Don't look at your phones when you're at parks. Look at your children. So Amanda said the conception pill regulated me, and mine was never regular. Andrea Carter books. I've never heard of those. David and Stephanie Ray said, I feel like with Mary Poppins, if kids don't know magic isn't real, there's a problem. LOL. Better never ever let them play with a wand or My Little Ponies or unicorns, etc. Yeah, my kids know magic isn't real. So Morgan said, I also read several news stories of creeps trying to grab a kid while they are literally next to their parent. They are. There was one in Fort Worth, Texas, I believe. She was walking on the sidewalk with her mom, and the guy pulled up in a van and grabbed her. It's crazy. So just keep an eye on your kids all the time. Sometimes, you know, it's going to happen because this world has a lot of bad people, but do the best you can to protect them, obviously. So David and Stephanie Ray said, my 4.5-year-old daughters are well aware people can't fly, and Santa, Easter Bunny, etc. is not real. Exactly. Same with my kids. And Jen said there is a book called Making Babies on bulkherbstore.com that has really good info on before, during, and after pregnancy using herbs and food. There's also another book called Taking Charge of Your Fertility that is good at just making you become aware of how your body works and how your fertility works. And I believe a woman's fertility is amazing. God really, you know, put some markers in place for us as women to be able to tell what's going on at different times of the month. And it's just crazy how the hormones work and how your body prepares to conceive a child and carry that child and nurture that child. And just all the different times, you know, the luteal phase and all the, you know, ovulation, how that works. So, and then Kimmy said, Andrea Carter books are KJV and correct salvation message. I'll have to check those out for my daughters, definitely. Now, where can you get those, Kimmy? Do you have to order them online, or where did you get those? So yeah, taking charge of your fertility. Did you make a video? Did I make a video on what? Did I make a video on what are you talking about exactly? I think I'm finally caught up with the chat. I think that's it for the chat. And it's already 8 o'clock. I'm so long-winded. I like interacting with you guys, though, and talking to you. So I just heard a couple people mention Mary Poppins and that it's terrible. I felt very awkward because I had just let them see it at Grandma and Grandpa's. Guess I hadn't thought it was terrible. Stephanie, I like Mary Poppins. My husband likes Mary Poppins. So this all comes down to you deciding what you want for your family. You cannot let people decide what your convictions are. And we're all going to have different convictions. We're all going to be at different points in our lives. Some people, if they have had a past where they were into the magical things, maybe they're more sensitive to it. My husband and I are not. We, you know, there might be maybe someone comes out of the Wiccan lifestyle, and so they just don't want any of that around. And so they say no magic at all. My mom was that way. She was not Wiccan or anything, but she was saved at a later age, like 24, I believe she was saved. And she had kind of been into some occultic stuff, like the Ouija board and things like that. And so she was very sensitive to it. So we grew up like Cinderella was bad, you know. She didn't like Beauty and the Beast. She didn't like anything. I remember they would rent movies and they would preview them. And they had rented Bedknobs and Broomsticks, I think. I still have yet to see that movie. I've never seen that movie. But I remember I was all excited because it looked like such a cool movie. And we were laying in bed, and I could hear them watching it and eating popcorn. That's what they always did. They would eat popcorn and watch the movie. And they, like, turned it off, like, 20 minutes into it. And I remember the next day, I asked them, like, why did you turn, you know, do we get to watch a movie? And my mom's like, no, this whole movie was about a witch or something. I don't know if it's about a witch. And it just had a lot of magic in it. And I was so bummed because I wanted to watch it. It looked so cool. And I looked at the cover, and she should have known because I think there's like a bed flying through the air on the cover or something. But so she was very, very particular about that. We are not so much, but we draw the line with some things. Like they've never seen Harry Potter. Some of the very mystical type movies they've not seen that are full on witchcraft. You know, they have not seen. So you just have to decide where you draw the line in your own family. And if the Lord convicts you, then, you know, you got to draw the line there. So, let's see. A video on weight loss. I have not done a video on weight loss. I am trying to lose my weight myself. So I'm probably not the person to ask right now. I need to lose a good 20, 30 pounds. So brought on by having lots of children. Oh, so let's see. Yeah, I would definitely try those pills. After being raptured, do believers stay in heaven during the millennium? Don't ask me about the millennium period. I am very weak in this. I don't know much about the millennium period. That is definitely something I would ask a pastor. I'm not an expert on the millennium. So Ashley said, I believe that sodomites are reprobates. Amen. I see YouTube videos of former homosexuals who say they are saved now, and I reject the lifestyle. It really confuses me because I think they can't be saved. Here's the thing, Ashley. If you ask any of them for their testimony about their salvation, most of them will say that they turned from that sin, and that's how they know they got saved. So basically what they are believing in is a work salvation. They're believing that because they stopped that, now they are saved. So I don't believe that they are saved. And also there is a difference too between a full-blown sodomite who is in the lifestyle, practicing it, burning in their lust for someone else of the same sex, and someone who's confused, a teenager who has been abused, maybe as a child. They grow up, it's being shoved down their throat, and they are confused, and they are just dabbling with it because their mind has been corrupted from an early age. And I do believe ones like that are not burning in their lust, but are maybe just confused about it. I don't believe that they're totally reprobate yet. But I do believe someone that is burning in their lust, is involved in an active lifestyle, has rejected God over and over and over and over again, that they are. So I would check up on their salvation testimony. Actually ask them, so how do you know you're saved? If they say that they know they're saved because they turned from their sin, they turned from their homosexual lifestyle, and they're now saved, then they're trusting in their works. So there's a lot of witchcraft, and there's a witch. Not good. Yeah. Bed knobs and broomsticks is a witch. I still have never even seen that movie. Mrs. Anderson she does do Weight Watchers. I am so bad at putting down all my food, counting my points. I would rather have a diet where I just know what specific food group I'm supposed to eat. I had tried keto a few weeks ago, and I made it 5 days or 4 or 5 days or something. And I actually lost 4 pounds when I was doing it. But the thing is that it affected my milk. I have a sneeze coming. Excuse me. And it had affected my milk supply. And so I had to quit because I needed some more carbs in for my milk. And I thought maybe when she starts solids and doesn't need to nurse as often, when Kelly doesn't need to nurse as often, I can try it again. But I liked that because I knew what food groups I could have. And it was all food I liked that I could have. So thank you. But yeah, check out Mrs. Jujana Anderson's video about Weight Watchers. If you are a person that likes to have an app that you can follow and put down all your foods and count your points, then that's probably for you. And I know there's a lot of free foods, every fruit is free. All the chicken is free. I think all vegetables are free foods. So those are 0-point foods. So you can eat as much of that as you want. So it does have a broad range of foods that you can eat. For me, I'm just so bad at writing down all my food. I know that's just bad, but keto. Yes, I dabbled in keto and I really, really liked it for the 4 or 5 days I did, but my milk tanked. So if I could find a way to do it and keep my milk supply up, and I was even guzzling water, I was guzzling 0-calorie Gatorade, because Gatorade helps my milk supply, and it still didn't help. So I'm going to try keto again once I start moving her to solid foods. And there is a Pastor Jimenez message, the millennium. Yes, I listened to that, and I just it's hard for me to wrap my brain around the millennium. I don't know why it confuses me so badly. Is anyone else like that? Does the millennium area just the whole era just confuse you? I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb when it comes to that. I like Trim Healthy Mama. Joanne said, I love keto. Dr. Berg, healthy keto. Increase your day and it will increase your milk. What do you mean? Oh, fat. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, not day, but fat. Increase your fat. Yeah, I have a friend that did keto and she's nursing and she's lost 30 pounds. and her baby's like 4 months old. And she said it didn't affect her milk at all because she just increased her fats. Ronnie said, try the MyFitnessPal app. That is a lot like Weight Watchers, correct? I believe I even have that. So, yeah, I don't like aspartame, but I was just trying to get my milk up. So, Jen says, I just try to do all, I think you mean whole real foods, less sugar, more water. I don't know how you say this name. I can only take a few more questions because it's already 8:10. So, yeah, that's fine. I know you guys are still asking them, but someone said there is a music conductor in our church that is effeminate. We think he is a homo, but have not hard evidence. He is 50 years old, not married. Any advice on how to deal with the situation? He's been at the church for 20 years. I don't know. That's hard too, because you can't condemn people on just a hunch without evidence. Just keep your eye on him and don't trust your kids around him. That's what I would say. And if anything ever does come out about him, then he needs to obviously be thrown out of the church. But, and you know, you can't, there's a lot of effeminate men nowadays, and not all of them are homos. So that's a tough one, because you can't always go off your hunches when it comes to that. So just be careful around him. That's all I would say. Ronnie said we reign on the earth during the millennium. Yeah. Amber said I am like that too. I knew that we ruled and reigned here. Yeah, I didn't even really look at the question. I just saw millennium and skipped over it. I knew that we rule and reign here. I just don't get the whole logistics of like the ones left over. You know, because people are still going to be dying, correct? I need to go watch that again. I'm not even going to say anything more about it because I'm going to make myself look dumb. Green food supplements really boost your milk production. You can get it in pills. I have some green food supplements. What is it? Malinga, I think it's called. And I started taking them and they were giving me horrible headaches. So I don't know if it was because it was something new I was introducing, but it really, once I stopped it, the headaches stopped. So any recommendations for prenatal vitamin brands while breastfeeding? No, because I'm really bad at this. Joanne was on one, All Things Baby, and she had a lot of different things that she brought on, and she had some prenatals, I believe, that she showed. So that would be a good one to watch. Just watch the the latest one of Mrs. Jimenez's one that she did with me. And little known fact, out of all the videos, Joanne, if you're watching, out of all the videos that I have done, the highest ranked one that has been watched the most is the one we did with Mrs. Jimenez a year ago, almost, about modesty. So that is my #1 watched video. So I guess you ladies are interested in hearing modest tips. And she gave a lot of good ones. So Heath said unsaved people will survive the wrath of God and go into the millennium. Yes. I kind of knew that. I've talked with my husband about the millennium, and he's like telling me all this stuff, and it's just like going over my head. So, all right. So that is there are some ideas for prenatals and things like that. So Ashley said there's a local church near me, and the pastor's son was a child molester. He's out of jail and is an active member of the church. What in the world? My friend goes there. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these Baptist churches letting these child molesters come to their church? I do not understand it at all. Ridiculous. Watch your kids when you're at church. Churches are letting them in now too. So, okay. So I think we're going to wrap this up. So yeah, don't ask me any questions about the millennium, but anything else you can ask me. What you need to do with the millennium question is you need to call into Pastor Anderson's live question and answer that he does on Tuesday nights when he's around, and ask him your questions about the millennium. So, I think we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you tune in next week for, oh, the giveaway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lush Leche is great for increasing milk supply. I have never tried that. I went to go look at their website and it was like super mega amounts of money. So I never ordered it. So if you ever get a coupon code while I'm still nursing, just send it my way and maybe I'll try it with a coupon code. So yes, let's do a giveaway. I feel really bad though. I have the two. I had one small, one medium left from last week's winners, who was Kirsten Fisher and Catherine Racing. I don't know if that's how I say her name right, but I had a horribly busy, like the busiest week of the year last week. It was crazy. So I have not sent those out. So whoever wins the giveaway tonight, I will send that out tomorrow with, I have one more envelope at home and I'll just send all three of them out tomorrow. So I will send those out. Okay, let's see. Are they even saved? If they're child molester? I don't believe so. No, I believe they're reprobate. I believe anyone that would do that. And I don't throw reprobate out easily, but yeah, yeah. No, I do not think they're saved. If they are a child molester. Okay. Don't leave yet, Morgan. You want to win a shirt. Okay, so the small and medium are gone. Okay. So the only sizes I have, I went through them today. I have like three X's. I have two 2X's. I have like 7 extra large. I have like 5, and I think I have 5 or 6 large. So those are the sizes that I have left. So, oh, I got to think of a question though. What question am I going to ask? What's a good question? Someone help me out for the giveaway. I meant the father. The father of what? Is the father saved? I don't know what father you're talking about. Okay. So we have, those are the ones that we have. So if you are a large, extra large, 2X or 3X, this giveaway is for you. Or if you are a smaller woman, you could have the shirt for pajamas at night for like a nightgown, something like that. So, maybe she means the pastor. Oh, the pastor that's letting him come. I think pastors let those people in the church. I believe they can be saved. They're just stupid. And they're obviously not good students of the Bible because they don't understand what a reprobate is and that there's no reforming them. So, yeah, I definitely think that they can be saved. Just really stupid. Okay. This is what I'm going to do for the giveaway. I am going to give a reference of a verse. And whoever looks it up and starts typing out what the verse says, then that is the winner. Or whoever, you know what? Whoever just types out the verse. Okay, you have to have the whole verse. So let's see who is a fast typer. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to say the reference, and then you have to look it up and type it out. First one to do that wins the shirt. Okay, so Proverbs 15:20. Proverbs 15:20. Go. It's like a sword drill. A sword drill, but it's a typing drill. So let's see who gets it first. Proverbs 15:20. Everyone's like copying and pasting. Google, like Googling the verse, copy and pasting, put it in. That's what I would do anyways. I'd like Google the verse and then copy and paste it. I'm going to do the giveaways every week until these shirts are gone. So there it is. A wife in her youth. Morgan's like, why son? Why son? I'm going to write why son like 2 times. You're funny. A wife in her youth, 1. Now they're like all coming through. Okay, so wife in her youth, make sure you email me at gentlyledsisters@gmail.com or private message me on Facebook, whatever is easier. And I will get your name and your address and try to do it before tomorrow so I can send it out when I send the other ones out, because if I'm actually going to the post office, who knows when the next time I'll get there is. So they are fast. A wife, and it's funny because pretty much the instant someone writes one, then they like all start coming through. So, and she actually did the whole verse, so that's pretty good. She must have copied and pasted. So congratulations, a wife in her youth. Email me with your name and the shirt size, and I will get that sent out. Joshua 24:14 said, typo, I think Canadians are disqualified. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Canadians are tough unless you have a US address, because I think it's really expensive to send to Canada. As it is in the US, it's about $5 per package when I send it out. So anything over that is kind of stretching it. So, all right, guys. I still have to run to Walmart. So I got to run to Walmart and get home to my baby who probably needs me by now. So congratulations. Email me. I will send that out tomorrow, and we will see all of you next week. And I hope you all have a great week. Okay. Bye.